Let me start by saying this podcast is designed. A lot of times people go misunderstood artists, actors, and so it's basically designed for you to come represent yourself in your own words. Also, we're gonna have a lot of stories to tell. Like Brian gonna tell you how he went from becoming a bike maker to going to the radio. You know, he made my first bike.
Yeah. We're gonna touch a lot on who Brian is.
Career radio right now. This is a new world for me, so this is the first podcast ever. I've been a guest on a couple, so I'm excited to be on a platform where I can really, really express myself. Exactly. That don't belong to somebody else.
Yes. And our perspective on a lot of things. A lot of issues that are going on, social media, I think there's a lot of things that go on out there, and then the people who comment, all the commentary is way off base and wrong, and so I think this will be the place to straighten all that out.
Yeah, good example. Like Brian, I thought it was like, an annual thing or maybe holidays, but he really gives back, like, nonstop. So we want to talk about positivity. A lot of times people don't commend and or communicate about the positive things. If I fell off the bike, that'd be the topic for about 6 months.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But when a man, take time out of his life, to give food to the homeless, to give coats, assistance shelters, stuff like that or whatever, they don't talk about that.
Yeah.
It's not important.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because, like, we just did the turkey drive and you came out and hung out with us all day. Describe the feeling you had, like, when you witnessed people really needing what we brought to them, man. You
know what? Be totally honest with you. I like to joke a lot, but to be dead serious with you, I feel like one of those Christmas movies, man. For real, you know how, remember I had a bad week, right? And then I met up with Brian, right? And it was like, fa la 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 la. I thought I was happy. Hey, yo, you good? I'm like, yo, man, Brian, we went over here, we went to Durham, we went over to the mission. The mission base over here, we did this and that. I met new people with that, and before you knew it, my bad week, my down spirits was at an all-time high, man. Yeah. So it made me feel good.
And the cool thing about it, man, like we're on 15, 16, 17, 18th annual. So this was before Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So we put it out on the social space so people know what we're doing. And I also think it brings competition, the good competition, for people to try to one-up you and what they can do in the community. So that's a healthy thing. But it's not about social media. You got to do it because you love to do it.
Exactly.
I lost my brother when he was 19 in a car accident. So all charitable things I do is always in his name. Tyshawn Wood, I call it the TSW Foundation. So we try to make sure we do a lot for kids, a lot for homeless people who really can't help themselves. And try to put them in the right space. So thanks for acknowledging that, man. But we do it for the love. We talk about it a lot, man. But like last thing, like we like the mouthpiece. They're real community activists that's doing this every day. Yeah. So I just use my platform to elevate what they're already doing, and I make sure I stay in my place. But I appreciate it.
I commend you. Good job, man. Hey, let me ask you a question. What you think about the Master P and his son Romeo?
Good topic. Everybody's talking about that.
You know what? This morning, 2 or 3 times I had to replay what Master P was saying. I don't think Romeo get that he didn't know how to express himself at the time that his daughter, Romeo's sister, was going through what she was going through. He said it. It probably frightened him, but then at the same time, he probably couldn't foresee her taking her life.
Right.
He just knew she was stressing, going through turmoil, but listen, we are like the lower level of the industry, and we go through stress. So could you imagine what they're going through? You work $400 or $500 million.
So for people who don't know, the daughter took her life via suicide. I heard when she died. I didn't know what the outcome. So that's and then he commented on DJ Twitch's store, and then the son got involved. Okay, so I think I'm caught up on.
But I just think Romeo. I think he. I understand Romeo. Like, man, your daughter just went through this, and then, this guy passed away, and then you comment on it. Maybe he didn't know how to comment on it the first time.
Right.
Like he said, you lost your sister, but I lost a daughter. And he understand. He said, I understand now that, mental illness, it's different. He see it different now. He view it differently now. You know, so
everybody grieves differently, and you can't tell someone how to grieve. So, you know, I can understand Romeo and feeling the way he does and looking at his dad like, oh, you know, you could have did this and you could have did that, but you have no idea how really to handle it. And that's why therapy is so important for both the person going through it and the family members, so that you know how to deal with that person who's going through everything. Because I've said it over and over again. There's a big difference between being depressed and having depression. It's two totally different things. And if you haven't experienced it or been around someone who has, or had the tools to deal with something like that, you know, it's you mess around and make things worse. And so I think that's what we're seeing out on social media.
Well, I guess the first thing I think of is this definitely not something that should be handled via social media.
No.
Like, we shouldn't be all into this much of it, right? That's the
That's the reason why I agree with Master P said. He said, as much as I don't want to take to the internet, he said, I've called my son. He don't answer. He won't call back. So I'm gonna speak my piece. After that, I'm not doing it no more. And everything he said was accurate. Like, you know.
But what's crazy though is, so I saw that, and then I saw his son replied that he has tried to reach out. So we don't know quite where the truth is on how it totally got out there, but it's got to be a lot of hurt and pain in his son. And it affected me a lot because, like, I don't know if y'all are quite aware, but, like, my oldest son, like, I put him out there early. Like, I had him on radio commercials at 1. Like as soon as he could talk, I was getting him on. And then I had him DJing for the Hornets like when he was 8 or 9. I did a lot of stuff for him. Some of the things he didn't gravitate towards once he got a chance to really make his own choice. So when I heard Master P's son, who I saw Master P do a lot of things that I probably picked up on, and how to give your child the advantage, it did hurt me a lot because I saw the love he put in his kid then, and to see him, I think his son like 30, and to see it at this point, it just makes you stop and think about a father-son relationship. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do this. Can I voice my opinion, my honest opinion? I think it's Angela Simmons. I'm 74, man.
You think it's
no,
who?
for real. I think now that she's dealing with Yo Gotti, right?
Okay.
And Romeo wants to regain whatever form of communication it is, whatever, and she's so far gone.
Because they were a couple, right?
Yeah, and Master P, he told her, you're no good, she's damaged goods.
Yeah.
And he may have, he was tight with his father. Maybe he listened to his father, backed up for a second, and now, and she like, and he see her, Yo Gotti. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's probably involved with him. So he used the suicide thing with DJ, what you call it, and his sister as, I guess to say the platform.
Just to get at him, yeah. To lash out at his father.
You know what I mean? That's what I really believe, man.
Yeah, and it's weird. Again, here's a subject that we all looking at it. Like, the lens I saw this from was, again, from the father, how much of an advantage he gave his son early, and how much is it paying off now. And it's interesting to see. I haven't really seen him, and maybe he's doing stuff that we don't know about. But is his career taking off, or does he feel like he's stalled out? His dad obviously been going through some well-documented issues and financial things, trying to stay alive. I mean, doing what he's been doing as a black entrepreneur. And now his dad probably can't do for him what he used to could do for him. And did he really absorb all the things his dad was teaching him? And is he at a bad space in his mind right now?
I think so. Like, remember Master Peter was saying, we're not doing the show. We left $8 million on the table, so on and so forth. Well, Romeo just went back to the show.
Right.
So.
Right.
Now,
I'm going to tell you, one time P was at the radio station, I'll never forget, and I didn't even mention it to her. It was actually for our turkey drive, and somebody mentioned, hey, we doing this for the turkey drive. He went straight in his pocket and pulled out like $400-500 and said, who I need to hand this to? Like, just, so, and then I heard countless stories about stuff he was doing in South Central and Compton, back in New Orleans, so. I don't know. I like P. I'm rooting for him, man. We all go through ups and downs, and I just like to see the situation.
And he was very open and honest about the fact that he said, hey, I came into all of this money, but I'm still...
Right.
Yeah, he said, I got on, I fell off, got back on. He said we go through it or whatever.
That's what we do, man. It don't need to be out there. It's not our business if he up or down, because it doesn't matter,
facts.
right? Like.
But then that's the difference in the generations where we like to do things privately,
No question.
where the younger generation wants to throw it out there, and it's what they're used to.
And just a message to like our future guests and future co-hosts. We're not gonna let you Kanye, man. We know how to censor and stop you, so don't worry.
Right.
We got you. All right, we're not gonna let you Kanye. You know what I mean? And I mean, but Kyrie different. I kind of sympathize with Kyrie Irving. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think he did what we all do. We'll see something, and we may not get to the end of it, but go, that was enlightening.
Let me throw it out there.
Right. He threw it out there without.
Yeah, I know. I've shared a lot of things.
Right. So what happens is he throws it out there, and then somebody actually took the time to watch the whole thing and say, "Oh, this is a crime of race." And so he's the victim. I kind of feel like of not reading. You know what I mean? 'Cause he's a well-read brother, but at that point he didn't read the whole thing. He just reposted it. He's a victim. Now Kanye on the other end, come on, bro, you know better, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kanye got some. I think he got some mental things. It's really.
Well, he does, yeah.
Obviously going on.
And every couple
He
of
do, I
months,
think
he
he got the
says
wrong
his
people
diagnosis is different. So.
Yeah.
he got the wrong people. Who does that? Who allowed a person to crash and burn like that? Like, where is your support group at? Where's your friends at? Your real friends. You don't have an aunt, somebody to say, "Hey, baby, don't do that." You can
like
say what you want, but it's the way in which you put it. You just went straight the Jews.
Right.
This, that, like, you could. He could have voiced his opinion or his political views in a better format. Use different words. I'm a black man. I felt hate coming out of his words. I'm like, what's wrong with Kanye? We know he got a mental problem too.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing with his wife didn't help him, made it worse. But, I just feel like sometimes people will deliberately sit there and watch you crash and burn.
Yeah, well, when you have a diagnosis and you're not acknowledging it and you're not acknowledging it at all. So that means you're not trying to get therapy, you're not trying to figure things out, you're not trying to rationalize at all. So this is the result. And I saw just recently he gave out something else, another diagnosis. Oh, I don't have bipolar. I have this. Now it's something else, but it's never I don't even know where the whole bipolar thing came from in the first place. Has he really been diagnosed? Who knows?
Right.
Something is wrong, but he's not acknowledging that. Instead, he's just a superhero, and I don't mean to say that. I'm not trying to be funny, because with me having bipolar 1, we do say that. We're superheroes.
I was about to ask you, what's your diagnosis?
Bipolar 1.
And that is.
What do you mean?
Define it. I'm trying to understand what.
Bipolar 1. Well, bipolar 1 is
2, 3, 4, 5.
No, there's 1 and 2.
Okay.
1 is the worst. But what happens is, for an easier, more simpler way of explaining it, I have highs and I have lows. So I can be manic or I can be depressive. For some people, they can be manic for a couple of hours or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and then they'll switch up to depression. And then, and it'll cycle.
That's 1.
Yeah, and that's 1.
What's 2 then?
For me, I don't remember.
Okay.
I should know, but I don't. But I know mine. And for me, I had to have intensive therapy to get to where I am now. So a lot of people who are around me forget that I have it. So when I start getting a little different, they don't realize, okay,
But see, that's why it's good that we asked her. Now we know, so No, I'm gonna keep a little taser.
See, I knew it was coming.
Tighten you up. I mean, a little taser.
No, and seriously,
No.
sometimes I do need that. Sometimes, and I let people know. I'm very open with it.
So, as a person who understands, obviously, the condition, you can't look at Kanye and see that he don't have a serious mental...
No, he absolutely has a
Problem.
but because
it's
he
going
hasn't
unchecked.
acknowledged it, he's not getting the therapy that he needs and the tools that he needs and the medication
And
that
he could have been
needs.
getting it as a part of that last marriage, and it seemed like the dam
that's
kind of
probably
broke
the damn
after.
Did it to him, yeah.
Yeah, the
She did
dam
it to
seemed to
him.
broke after he got a... I'm not saying that was a healthy
After he
situation for
fell out
him,
of
but...
pocket, she allowed him to witness this weirdo, this tattooed up weirdo, around his kids, man.
Oh, you talking about the whole
So
dating
you
of
know
the...
that's
Okay.
gonna, yeah.
The dude was bugged out too. He was
Yeah,
a
I
weirdo,
didn't
super
understand
weirdo.
her in that whole move. That was crazy.
For real, wasn't he drinking blood, all type of crazy
I
stuff?
don't know.
He was a weirdo, man.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that
know.
whole... Yeah.
Man, the guy was a weirdo. I don't understand what was that about. You know?
Yeah.
I think she let him in more out of spite to Kanye than anything.
I don't know.
You know, and that really messed him up.
Yeah,
First his mother, then his wife. You know, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, and for them, I don't know. Again, that whole thing seems dysfunctional. Like
Yeah,
their
that
whole
world is
lifestyle,
intense.
the whole Kardashian movement, financially successful, but it don't seem like it's
No.
anything of any substance behind any of that. And
Oh yeah, you know that they just bust it open and get paid for it.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it.
And like you said, it doesn't look like he has someone who he can trust to say, "Hey, go sit down."
yeah. Because I mean, it didn't make sense for him to lose that much money that fast. It don't help nobody. You know what I'm saying? It don't help him, his movement. I mean, let's face it, money makes the world go round. You can't lose that kind of wealth.
Yeah.
And it's just
Well,
too much to be,
right.
you know.
I'm still waiting to hear the lawyers, man. Where's the loophole to say, hey, listen, Adidas, you got to pay that.
Right. But see, they always find a way to take that kind of wealth from us as fast as they can anyways. Off subject, but go back to the Jacksons and the way that all that money that Michael Jackson made went to white people. Lawyers, his kid. And they made it look like when the mom and dad was asking for money, like they were in the wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I think this was a money play. As we watch Kanye lose $2 or $3 billion, I don't know how accurate that number is, but that's a lot of resources out of the black community
Exactly.
per se. I look at it.
Because his net worth had at one point had been 11.2 billion, something like that, right? Then they scraped
Yeah.
him and it went down to 400 million.
Right, and I mean we don't obviously know the real numbers, but the numbers, whatever it is too much to be happening. And final thought on the Kyrie. So Kyrie to me was the sacrificial lamb. So I mean, think about it. He gets in trouble for reposting something that's on sale on Amazon.
Right.
If it's that bad, or it plays in movie theaters.
Right.
It's too much. I mean, it's like taking a hammer and trying to kill a fly on a glass table. It was just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But shout out to Kyrie. He's balling
Yeah.
right now. He doing his
Shout out
thing.
to Kyrie, man.
Yeah, he doing his thing now, and they don't talk about that at all.
Yeah, he back to this
Yeah,
again.
no question. Hey, what you know about that over there? What you know about that?
Yeah. I got a little heavy, but I actually got a game. You know?
I'm gonna take him up on that one. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the part of the segment on the next episode where you're gonna see Brian sitting on a ball cart with the ice pack.
That's some big game.
Where I done skipped it, and hit it with the drop step and went back, and then it took off, showed the bump him a little
I need
bit.
to warn him. Every morning you check on me where I'm at.
At the
At
gym.
my gym, and you say you gonna get you and Corey over there. So we gotta make that happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. For me, as far as the Kyrie thing, I felt like it was the perfect opportunity for all of us with wealth to step in and support that person, regardless of what was happening to him was too much.
Right.
And all of us, everyone should have stepped
Right.
in
Yeah.
I mean,
and protected him.
but I'm sorry because you didn't cut me off. But this is where I think the problem was. They picked someone that's where our infighting and our lack of unity hurt us.
Yes.
Kyrie was hanging out. He's been misunderstood in our community from the beginning. He's one of the true. I ain't even gonna try. What's the word? Philanthropic. How do you say the word? philanthropist.
Yes.
He's one of the true ones in the NBA. And he don't get nowhere near the credit like a LeBron James get. But he does just as much, if not more, in his own way. Yeah. And he's a seeker of truth and reality, and sometimes when you're seeking things, you're going to be wrong, and it's okay. I mean, it's not okay to think the earth is flat, but, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But I'm saying, so Kyrie gets ostracized for things, but he's just, to me, he's a very smart person. He's a genius in what he's trying to get done. But anyway, so getting back to your point, we've already made him a demagogue in our community. Like we've been against him. So when you get someone out there, I think those are the ones they pick on. They knew we wasn't gonna come. Let's say that been LeBron, they would have fought. We would have stopped it.
They wouldn't even attack LeBron.
They wouldn't attack him for one.
They would have called his phone first and say, LeBron, the thing we posted, did you really watch it? He said, no, I watched a little bit and ran out.
Right.
Do me a favor, unpost it, take it down. It's not politically sound.
Right.
But with Kyrie,
yeah. So we made it easy. Yeah. I'm sorry to keep on your point, but we made it easy for them to attack him. Because that's how we do. And see, I was glad. I saw when Farrakhan spoke up, the tide started to change when people started saying, wait a minute, we got all these pundits going on TV really dogging him, and they're not helping him, and they're not speaking up. And then you're a Cowboy fan, I'm a Cowboy fan. So when the Jerry Jones thing came up, and then everybody wanted to push it under the rug, it was the example, Exhibit A.
Exactly. They goes as far back as, remember the Terrell Owens thing? When he fell out with Romo and them?
Yeah.
Because he stopped passing the ball, something like that.
Right.
It's the same thing. They dog T.O. out, send him to another team and all that. Like, we don't never get
Jerry Jones is the worst. I mean, I was a Cowboy fan. I'm an old school Cowboy fan. And sometimes he make me reconsider, but very unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, the infighting is the issue.
We make it easy for somebody to, and they know who we love and who on the outside, and then they attack.
Because we don't keep that in the family.
Right. Right now, your personal truth, right? What's your life's goal?
Ooh, right now?
Yeah, starting with the near future. And down the road. Man,
I'm at an interesting point in my career at this time. Obviously, trying to check off a lot of new things on the bucket list like this. Being in radio for 23 years, watching that whole industry move around. Having gained some financial security, it's really about trying to see the impact that I can make. Obviously, starting how I can change the world through my kids and be there for every step that they're doing, and then how can I really help some other people, man. I've been lucky, like since I was 28, I've been financially situated.
Yeah.
I don't want much, I don't do much, but I've been lucky and blessed. So right now it's just really about doing things I really want to do, travel. I want to get out and do a little more things, have more control of what it is that I do, though. That's a good question, man.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm definitely trying to get to DR.
Yes. Love the DR. That's my happy place. And Jamaica. Jamaica's my other happy place. But I've been DJing a lot, so I actually, I started DJing when I was in 1987, but I never took it serious, obviously. But it's kind of cool to come back later in my entertainment career and then really start taking it serious. Yeah. And start to get more gigs and start to really love that craft. So I can see that's something like owning a lawnmower. I can get old and do that. You know what I'm saying? I can go do weddings, still kind of feel like I'm in the game. I can DJ old school pool parties at Myrtle Beach or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, I'm looking forward to stuff like that.
That's what's up.
How about you?
Basically what we're doing now. I look forward to interviewing people. There's some people out there got some real juicy questions for them, man.
We got some people got to get at.
Yeah, stuff that people didn't ask them, but it's not gonna be controversial. Like I'm not gonna shoot them under the gun, but there's certain things that I feel that if certain questions would have been asked, it would have got a different response.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's all about how you ask a question.
Yeah. And
that's why I did ask you, what's your life? So this way, when you break it down, in case maybe whatever, we can go back at this tape and look back and say, all right, well, that's changed now. Because down the line, I'm always asking a funny question. What did you think about this way here, this, that? How did you feel when you saw that accident? Stuff like that or whatever. And then we can always go backtrack and look at from where you at now to maybe months down the line, years down the line. To that point, are your views the same? what ideology you're working with now. You know what I mean? What school of thought you dealing with? And so I always ask a question that may not seem like much, but down the line you say, damn, why he asked that? 'Cause now I'm here. Rewind. Oh,
You can go back and look at it.
2022, I said that. It's 24, and I accomplished that. You know what I mean? So I always ask those questions.
How about you?
Well, I've always hated questions like that. But thinking about it and listening to the two of you, I realize the three of us are big givers. I've always been that way. Went to school, studied sociology, have my degree in sociology, because my goal was, and I guess it kind of still is, to go into counseling, and not just with anybody. I really want to deal with people who are re-entering society, because I find that a lot of people who come home, their family puts so much stress on them that they end up going right back. So, and I've talked to a lot of people who had that issue. And so I said, you know what, I think that would be a great direction to kind of help them stay on the street. But also give, like I said earlier, the family also needs to understand how to help that person. So whether it's someone with, some kind of mental disability, or someone just coming home, that's stressful. Whether it's, a year or 20 years, the family needs to understand. Don't jump on that person and say, hurry up, you got to do this, you got to do that. So that was one of the goals that I had. But then more recently, I've been wanting to start a documentary and have Corey record everything that he's ever gone through, but also just in some kind of way develop a real documentary, a series probably, so that he can give everyone his gift. Because everyone else has talked about him and put things out there, but you need to hear it from him. So that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, and that's why I started reaching out to you. Because I said, you know what, we got to get this down. We got to get this documented.
And I think that's
Brian, you see
I think that's important.
You see what I see though? Did y'all see what she just did? Even though that's a cameraman's opinion. You trying to get rich off the blood, sweat, and tears of my labor. That's what's going on here.
Is that how you saw that?
I'm not signing that contract.
See, look.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell y'all, like, all jokes aside, like, Corey's obviously a super interesting person, and the story got to get told. So a lot of times we feel like we take it for granted that people understand what we experience, but it's got to get documented. And you've learned, like, from, let's say, like Donald Trump. I mean, you could change history and rewrite. So we heard it when we came up, like, when they had you a social studies book, and then you found out later that this book was totally inaccurate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's important that you document Corey's story.
Yes.
It's going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to change a lot of people from maybe going down some paths he went down. It's going to get, I think it's going to be dope. I would love to be a part, because I know at this age I'm at right now, I want my story told. I want to, I've been in this market since March of 95. I'm like the godfather of this market for what people see now, but I know how quickly the younger generation under me have been trying to wipe out the things I've done because they feel like that's going to propel them, but it don't. Right. I think that's the difference. Right. I've respected people who gave me my first opportunity, and my success didn't change theirs. You know what I'm saying? So we got to tell Corey's story. It's got to be told,
absolutely,
documented. You know what my biggest problem is, right? It's hard after going through, all the street stuff, becoming, a street legend, all that crazy stuff, right? It's hard to be normal, man. Like, if you trying to be normal, people won't let you. Like, a person, cause yo, I'm like, whoa, bro, like,
right.
Time out. Nah, cause I ain't scared of nobody, bro. It's not that serious, man. And like, as I always say, like, if you're not careful, when you make that change and now you want to become a spokesperson, of all the do's and don'ts of street life. People try to play you out of position and play you off the street. play you into a box if you feed into it. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest and hardest thing to do, man. Is just to be a regular.
Have you always been this like humble and meek? Like
I have to be mean as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Love fighting, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to really push me to make me like, cause I understand what hurt is now. See, you look at it one way in the street as, yeah, well, I'm gonna put his head out, but you're not looking at him. If I put his head out, he can't go home to his dad or his mom. His kid might be at the door waiting to have dinner with him. He's not gonna be home no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's different now. So with me, it's like stacking a bunch of dominoes. I'm trying to see in what angle each domino gonna fall, as opposed to not caring at all.
So how long have you been? Let's just use the word changed. Like what?
A long time.
But if you would estimate number of years where you think
I'm
you
gonna
had
say
a
19.
big shift.
I'm gonna say 19 because I came home in 2003. I had a couple incidents. I ain't gonna make it seem like this changed. Had to put hands on set a couple times, but you know, I came home with the thought of, damn, yo, we cutting people getting scarred up. My mother was the one who really made me change. She seen me, she said, what happened to your face? And you can see the look in her eyes, like what the hell? Like, oh, hell was getting ready to break loose. She started crying because she'd never seen the scar. She didn't know I got cut. When I seen this, I said, damn. I got one. I'm one person with one cut, but I cut over 2,000 people in prison. What about their mother? How their mother looked at it? You understand? So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I always been a happy kid, bro. I played basketball. I played baseball. I roller skate. I ice skate. I ski. You know what I mean? Football. So I was never really like inactive when it came to academic stuff like that or whatever. Prison changes you. The streets change you. Because I was vicious on the street before I went to prison. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, your hero sibling, 'cause my brother King was our hero. Sometimes your love for your sibling, especially the well-loved one, can turn you into a beast. 'Cause my brother could look at me like, and that was it. I went lights out with ballistics. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes kids grow up like myself, and we really didn't have a choice. It's like either you down or you not. You know what I mean? So it was different. So now I want to tell my truth at the same time. You know, I want to travel state to state if I could, and go to schools and parks, wherever, and talk to the youth, man. That's what they lacking. People talk to just to get that little benefit money from the government for these nonprofits. I do that shit for free, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that real, it's that serious. You know? We losing them fast, so somebody got to do it. You know? Everybody say, yeah, CK, yo, I'm telling you, I can get you a bag of snap. Whoa, bro. You think about the bag, what about the kid, though? You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man.
Yeah, that's why I think Vindication podcast is perfect.
I love it.
Yeah. You know, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the troubleshoot. You may see these episodes down the line, but you will see this episode here once we could tweak and we find out, you know, exactly what our mojo is, and then we'll get it to you fresh off the press.
Vindication podcast. I love it. Dope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.